Okay, I think we will now start with our session today, like our webinar Automic Automation Upgrade V21 to V24 and how can Tricise support you or the customer for the update, what have we to know, what signs we have to see and so on. So I will show you in the next half an hour, 40 minutes, some points, what we are doing, what we are support to the customer from Tricise side, that you got a good way for the update. And at first, one thing at first, we have afterwards a QA session, like when you have questions on something else. After the presentation from my PowerPoint and my wordings, we have time for some QA sessions. So for the first, my name is Jens Pilz. I'm working as consultant for Tricise and I'm with Automic like the last 20 years. So I started with version 2.6. And I have provided many updates over the years and also the first updates to V24, so that I can also tell you a little bit about the updates which are gone in the last months for working with V24. So, but at first, before we start about the topic, everybody who has attended some other webinar from us know it. At first, I will show you a short overview what Tricise will support to the customer, what we have in our portfolio. So, and when we look there inside, it's not only that we support updates or something else. We have also the level 1 support for Automic at Tricise, like the 24.7 premium support. And if you have your maintenance contract with Tricise, you got the support from us. And also for this part, there are always support members which are working like 10, 15 years with Automic. Most employees from the support are also old Automic support guys. So also for our upgrades later, it's important that we have and support in the background. So this is like one thing we have, that we know what happens sometimes with new versions. So we are every time in contact also from the consulting side with our support to see what happens with new versions, their new coming bugs and so on. Also, we provide last 2 years an application managed service. Like if you have not enough resources and you will say, okay, we have to push out our administration stuff of Automic. You can do this with us, so we can administrate your systems. We can build the processes, workflow designs. There are 3 options what we deliver with managed service. And also we deliver in conclusion with Broadcom and Automic SaaS. So this is a Automic SaaS from Broadcom, where we also be inside and provide you if you want to go to a SaaS solution for Automic. We deliver also operation services when you are in a gap and said, okay, we need for half a year an employee with Automic knowledge that can help us and assist us for half a year in the operations, in the daily business or something else. Also possible to do this with us. So we have all our employees are long with Automic and have many experience with Automic. We provide also product trainings, like also interested for the new V24 version. There's also an upgrade training what we deliver in the moment to see what is changes, but we also deliver standard trainings, admin trainings, operator trainings. We do this in the public area in the moment in the Germany on-site, and also we do the trainings online and also in English. We have also trainings all trainings what we have can we also deliver in English, and this will be done then online and remote. And for this shorthand, have a look in the next weeks to our homepage, and you find some more trainings which are coming up for new in the next months. And now we are on the point what we are doing today. We have a portfolio for optimization and add-ons, like we do system health checks. We have some own developed packages like process analysis and optimization. And we have one of the most parts what we are doing the last year every time for customers to support them for version upgrades. From 10 to 11, 12 to 21, and so on, and some more parts what we are delivering here. And the last one, expert consulting services, what we also deliver. If you have special integrations, you need special knowledge for sub-automation, project implementation, transition to SaaS or something else, we have the experts on Tricise side to support you on these points or with these points. This short overview about Tricise and what is Tricise doing. And for today, what we want to do is to talk a little bit about the part, how can Tricise support you for the version upgrade? So why we have to do a version upgrade from V21 to V24? We have to do this because V21 goes out of support by end of September this year. So like only 5 months to go. And then V21 is not longer in support. So we have to speed up a little bit to say, okay, we have to migrate our version to 24. It can also be also possible, we have done this in the last month, that you're on version 12.3, 12.2. Also for this, we support the upgrade. So we can support you also at this when you're coming from version 12 or version 11. We support all of this, but this is the reason why we have now go on to version 24. And when we keep in mind a little bit, how will I provide an update process for Automic, I have to plan something. So, and with the new version 24, Broadcom changed the release strategy. And the new release strategy is also a little bit depends to the strategy for my upgrade. So what we have to know about the new release strategy. The first good thing is we are now 5-year support life cycle, not 4 years. We have 1 year more for a supported version, so we don't have to update so much like we have now 5 years for version 24. We have time to 29 before we have to go to the next major or minor version. So the release strategy from Broadcom is now that we have one minor version every 2 years. Like what they said, a major version 21 to 24 months. Like the next one is planned for version 26. But inside this major versions, we have some changes. So on the old version, like V21, we know we have version V21, and then we have service packs. V21, 0 service pack, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the newest is service pack 12. and that it is. But meanwhile, in the new strategies, we have not only service packs, we have some minor versions in the major version, like that we have now, we have seen, or you have seen it, we have version 24.0, we have 24.1, 24.2, 3, and the newest version was coming up last week, 24.4. And that means that the minor versions, only the newest minor versions will provide with service packs. And between the minor versions, we have not only bug fixes or something else inside, we have also new functionalities inside. And what Broadcom says, these functionalities are we got the next one. Sorry. These functionalities have no major backend changes, so that I normally can think about this. Okay, we test something and then we can update directly, like the same what we have done before in the versions when we put inside a new service pack. But in reality, it's look like a little bit other. And there's a good example what's upcoming with version 24.4. And this is not why it's today the 1st of April, but what have Broadcom done with version 24.4, and they say we have no major backend changes, but we have infrastructure changes inside a minor version. So I can show you this like good on the matrix, like with version. This one moment. I want to have the matrix. So there it is. So we see this for every component with 24.4 only supported for all Automic components is OpenJDK 17, not longer OpenJDK 11. So this is for me not like a small change. For update and installation, this is a bigger change, because you have, before you update or update to the new minor version 24.4, when you're coming from 24.2 or 24.3, to change on every system where you're using Automic the Java to OpenJDK 17. So in the matrix before, in 24.3, there was here a hint, what is meanwhile gone, where Broadcom says recommendation for JDK is OpenJDK 11 Adeptum Eclipse JDK. So this is not longer here available because everything is changed to 17. And that means for upcoming updates, we have intensive to check the new functionalities and what is gone and what is not longer compatible with Automic. So what we have not done like in this detail before in the old versions where we have put inside a new service pack. There was no changes about Java infrastructure changes or something else. So this makes the release strategy a little bit depends to our upgrade strategy that we have indeed to check what is now in this minor version new and what is gone at this moment. So that's a short example what Broadcom doing with the release strategy. So let us go back. What we have available for the minor versions is hotfixes when we need. Can you see something or It's an empty sheet, what you're seeing. One moment, I bring it back again. Yeah, so now you see again the right content. So what we have available for every minor version is like hotfixes. So for security patches or important bug fixes, but Service Pack will only provide for the newest minor version. Now at last week, only Service Packs will deployed for 24.4. So that's a short reason why we have also to look for an upgrade to the release strategy, what there's a change. So, but before we start, and this is what we are from Tricise do with you together, before we update to V24, what we have to check, what we have to know. So we have first to check what are the new features in 24. Improvements, is there some changes to the new version, what we have to bring? And this we have, before we start with the update, to know, to have a deep look inside what's coming up with the new version. What for technical requirements are available and compatible with version 24. Like we have to check for your OS systems database, what is compatible with 24. Like example, when you have old Red Hat server 6 or 7, on Red Hat 6 or 7, you can't run in 24 agent. It's not supported. So we have to check all these parts for the technical requirements, system requirements. Then we have to check which target version is the correct one for you. We have seen we got every 3 months a new minor version, like 24.2, .3, .4. So last week, .4 comes out. Want we directly to go in our upgrade process to this 24.4, or is it better to look to an older version, 24.3, what we are say from our experience, where we can say, okay, this version is stable. So we have no bigger bugs inside for your system, what can us bring in trouble after go live or something else. Or make a sense, because in 24.3 was a bug which was fixed in 24.4 to go to this version, but also when a new version comes out, also we need some experience with the new version. Is there coming up some new old bugs? Everybody who's working in Automic knows there comes an old bug back in a new minor version. So this is what we are also doing to say, okay, let us check which version is stable and current for your setting, the best option to update. And also to think a little bit forward, when you update an Automic system, you don't do this in 2 days. This is a process, a planning process, like over a week and months. And where you start, you said, okay, we are starting with 24.3. Then in our process, in our upgrade process, after 2 months, we have tested, everything's fine. A new minor version comes out. So it's not so easy to say now, okay, we use for our update, so now the new minor version we have seen, then we have to test everything again, because we have to install every part OpenJDK 17 and not 11 in this moment. So this is also what we are doing with you together, to check which version is the best option. And also, which update path is best suited for you? Like, can we make a step-by-step update or process to go to production? Or need we a big bang update like that we got on the weekend to say we stop old and we have directly to start everything in the new system? So we look with you together what has the most low risk, what is efficient, and to find the best solution, also from our experience about the updates which we have done, to see special for your system. Everybody knows every Automic system is unique. Like you don't have, every customer has other processes, agents working with other parts in Automic, so you have no really standard Automic system. So for this, we have to check what is the best way for your system to go live. And again, what for incompatibles we have to check, like what for functions are changed or cancelled. Also, there are some with 24 some functions which are not longer available, like with a WebSphere agent is not longer available. The event engine is not longer available. Is there some changes in the scripts or something else where we have to check what we have adapt, like in the new in the old system before we update, that we have to check these parts. Summary about this: an update bring many advantages, and we have to update, so because of the support life cycle. But what's coming up also more and more with 24, there are many challenges, and we have to test and have to be set up the update process very careful, that we got not in problems about the update and something is not working, and in the next day you got on the first page in the newspaper that something is not working, and everybody knows this is what we not want from Automic View. So let us be careful for update to V24. So the next step, what we are doing before we start or plan the upgrade process, at first we have to analyze the current environment. Like if you're on V12, V21 or something else, we have to look inside about the landscape. How many number of Automic systems have we? Like, have we one test, one product, and have we like test, QA, and product system? In which it's also important later for the upgrade path, how we can bring which system on which time to the new version. So we will look to the number and structure of the clients, how many clients we have, what have we inside the clients, objects, and so on. We have to check the database, like which database is used, Oracle, MS SQL, Postgre, or DB2. We see it later. This has a big depends to the upgrade strategy, because one of the biggest change with V24, I think all of you know this, is the change to UTF-8. And we have to bring up the new database in UTF-8. So, and this depends for the strategy, what you have, Oracle, MS SQL, Postgre, or DB2. But to this part, we come later to look inside what we have to do. What we had at first to do is to check, have we an Oracle, MS SQL, Postgre version or DB2 version, what is supported with V24, or had we update at first the database, or if we got a strategy to parallel installation, that we got a newer version of the database for V24. We check the components which are used. So what is inside are jobs, workflows, VARA objects, which parts of file transfers, some REST web service connection, FTP connections, and so on. Also, we see later this has an influence about the upgrade strategy. We have to check some parts about the new components, what's coming up with V24. So let us look at first, how do you use inside Automic? Also important, what agents are used, like how many OS agents we have, SAP agents, SQL agents, web service agents, FTP agents, some other RA agents, Informatica or something else, that we can check at first. Okay, can we bring this agents to the new version, or have we to do before we start with the upgrade process something in the systems to bring it to V24? Also a big change. The new agents, OS agents with V24 needs in Java, like an agent, OS agent is not longer run without Java. And now from 24.4, we need an OpenJDK 17 on every agent server. So possibility is there that we can deploy this Java directly with the agent and a package. But you know it about security or with the Unix, Windows guys that they say, no, you have not to install or to copy some Java to our system. So this is a part what has to be clarified before. So we see they're coming up time by time parts, what we have to check, what we have not in old updates. And also a big indicator for our upgrade strategy is how many processing and processes we have in the current system. Like how big is the database? How many activations we have per day? How looks the archiving and reorg process? This depends to the strategy, what we need to update the system. And also what not everybody have in mind, but is also important, the scope, how is Automic script in use? Like also in Automic script, there are some changes, like that script commands has a change or something else, some script commands using agents, and also we see it later, the new agent, everything is on UTF-8. So there are some special changes also like in script where we have to look inside and to see that this is also working in the new system. So if this has been done, then we can do the completely check and evaluation for the new system. So that we have to check which components are affected, what are the changes in the new version. So have we to adapt the configuration in the new system, like client 0? Is there some new parameters what we have to set up? What is not available in V21? Is there some changes in client 0 in the system settings or in other UC variables, what are new and where we have to know what to bring inside? Have we to adapt some scripts in the new system because we got often incompatibility or something else? So also what Broadcom deliver is the upgrade checker. This you can download directly with the complete package. This upgrade checker will bring up some informations about incompatibilities like in scripts or aging or something else. So we will analyze this with you together, what this upgrade checker bring up. But also we have from our experience some parts where we are looking for the upgrade, where we have to look inside. We not only use the upgrade checker, more we use our experience about the upgrades, what we have done and where we know what happens in updates. But also a point what we analyze with you together. And this is what I mean. We have the experience from previous updates. What are the problems? Is there some blocks? What will similar coming up in the system? We have the direct contact with our support to know, like 24.4, when the first tickets come in, we know there are some bugs coming up, and then we can experience to your system. Okay, 24.4, we don't use this. We got this bugs there. We got this errors there. Better to go to 24.3. There we see it is stable. So since we are using a lot our experience from previous updates, again, we have to analyze about this, which version is the correct one for your system. And also we will check with you together is there in the new version some new feature? What for you is interested? Like you want to set up some new things like CyberArk or something. There are some new things inside. We check this with you together and find the correct installation to bring this into the new system. Or like when you have also possible in the old system, you have some workarounds while there are some bugs in V21 and some of your processes got a workaround, or in the infrastructure we have some workarounds. We'll check with you together if we have with the new version 24 the possibility to bring this back to standard and not working longer with some workarounds. And we look to the known bugs in the new version. That's what I mean with our short contact to the support. We see very fast if there's coming up some new bugs in the new minor version, what got for our update when we plan the update with you and you're testing the update with you, where we got in trouble in this moment. So short example, what can happen and what we have seen like in the last updates. We use the RRFTP agent like in the old system. In this RRFTP agent in the old system, you're using like old Cypress. So with version V24 is upcoming a new solution. It's not longer called RRFTP agent. It's now the integration agent. And the integration agent have not new functionality, but he have inside the new secure Cypress, what are not available like in the old RR agent. So Broadcom deploys this is backwards compatible, like integration agent backward compatible to the RR agent. I think there was a misunderstanding about the wording backward compatible. We have to check about this in the new integration solution. The old unsecure cybers, which are available in the old RR agent, are not longer available in the new integration agent. The old RR is running with JSCH 1.5. The new is, I think, 1.65. So, yeah, from Broadcom side, it's clear you don't have to run like FTPs with old unsecure cybers, but the real world looks a little bit different. So when you have external contractors and something else, you have to push them. Please use on your server the new secure cybers and not the old one. And that's sometimes a long way that this will be done. So this makes for us the complex part that we have to check every connection which you have with the FTP, if this connection is working. You cannot see on the first view which Cypress your connection is using. So, and for this part, if you want to use the new FTP integration agent on the new system, what most time makes sense for new secure Cypress, because with the old RR FTP, you cannot use connections to external contractors who are using new Cypress, which are not available in 1.5. But if you split to or change to the new integration agent, you have to check every connection. So, and if a connection is not working longer because he's using an old Cyper, we have to find a workaround, because Broadcom will not bring back into the integration agent the old Cypress. So, and this what I mean with the wrong or misunderstanding in the wording backward compatible. So not all old connections from the error FTP agent will work with the new FTP integration agent. So what's coming up now with 24.4 is that Broadcom says to start an old error agent in parallel to the new integration agent. I have not tested this, and I will not go over the bridge that this is working very, very good, because the installation of the integration agent is different to the installation of an error FTP. Error FTP, we have to import the solution. The integration agent, we have only to start the Java file, and everything will done by Java directly without an import of an jar solution. So, and that's a little bit depends, and this is what we have seen on customer sides, that needs a lot of work to test these connections and to bring up some workarounds when you like have 200, 300 of different FTP, SFTP connections. So this you have to keep in mind. You can use, if you don't need at the first moment the new CyPass, you can use the old error FTP also in the new V24 version. But it will come the time where you have to switch to the new CyPass, and then you start again with testing and searching. It's only a short hint what like happens in updates, what we have done and what for problems are coming up, what you don't see in the first moment when you read the documentation. So you can't read there that old connections with old CyPass not longer working. So that's you find out when you test this, if you test the connection. And that's also an important thing here. So then we have to provide the migration strategy. So how we can migrate your system to the new V24. So have we to provide an in-place update, like you want to update your current database, the current system to new V24? Or is there the possibility to start a parallel installation that we build in parallel on new hardware, the new system blank without something inside? And then we have to sort about how we can bring over the production like with a big bang, or can we, when we have a parallel installation, step by step the processes to the new system. So for an in-place update, we can also provide a big bang. We will see why. And thus we have to check with the current system and the parts what you or what parts you need for your update, and do you need all historic data and something else, or do you have the possibility to provide new hardware or something else? So at first we have a look to the in-place update, because the in-place update is a complex update path what we can use, the complexity strategy, because with the change from V21 or V12 to V24, the database is running in V24 with the UTF-8 code setting and not longer non-Unicode. So this means we can't use like what we have done before. We stop the system, start DB load, bring inside the new database schema into the system, and bring back the system. That doesn't work from V21 to V24. It only works for Postgre. When you have a Postgre database, Postgre is installed also before V24 is installed in UTF-8. We have only to change this coding in the DB ODBC Connect. For Postgre, it's no problem. This we have also done. I've done this last week on the customer side to update V21 Postgre database directly to V24. But this means the database must be installed in UTF-8. So with Oracle, MS SQL, or DB2, most time, or for DB2 and MS SQL, this database are not installed in UTF-8. For Oracle, it can be depends. It can be that your Oracle database, when this is in your version, this is installed in UTF-8. Then you can check it if this is working the direct update. But most time, this is not available. Then we have to build a second database. So we need a second database, which is installed in UTF-8. And we have to set up an migration part to bring from the current V21 the statistics, reports, and everything what we need into the new UTF-8 database. At first step, the new UTF-8 database is on the same version like the current database, like in V21. This is only the change is that it is installed the database in UTF-8. So for this, we see zero downtime is not possible from V21 to V24. We need a downtime. So you have no chance to go without a downtime. And now it depends a little bit for the strategy, what we have to do. So when we have to migrate the current database in place, we have no UTF-8 database. We have to install a second database. Broadcom deploys a migration pack. This migration pack is developed to bring bring the data, the statistics, and everything else into the new UTF-8 database. So this will be installed in the current version. And this has two steps, an online step and an offline step. One thing is important. You can't change the database in this migration package. Like you cannot start in V21, your installation is on a Oracle database. You can't change this to a Postgres database. So the second new database must be the same like the current database. This can also be a strategy to say, okay, we don't make an in-place update. We bring our Oracle database at first to a Postgres database or our MS SQL database to a Postgres database in V21. And after this, we make an in-place upgrade, make it easier. But if this is not possible, you have to use the migration action pack. And there is then a second database. And this action pack has two steps or three steps. We've got an initial copy of the data. This will be done online. We don't need a downtime for this. So online, he will push all data into the new database. Then we have between the initial load and the final load, like the possibility to refresh. Most time between the initial load and the final, there are 1 to 2 weeks between, so we can refresh. And at last, we have the completion, the final part. There we need the downtime. This is the part where we stop the old system, got all changed objects and reports into the new one, and then we bring the new database to V24 with the DB load. So, and now we come to the part, how long takes this migration when I do a migration from the database. So we got the numbers here from Broadcom. This is for the only for the online part, like not for the offline part. There we have no official statements and numbers from Broadcom, only for the online part. They say for Oracle, like if you have a 150 gigabyte database, you need online 4.5 hours. So will be okay. I think this will be working. But when we look to MS SQL, like 3 gigabyte, 45 minutes. So standard Automic database to 300 gigabyte. So this needs sometimes 1-2 days before the first online initial load is done. But what we have seen, there are no impact to the current processing. So we have no performance impact at this time. But what we have seen is that we got in the online part problems with Oracle databases. So in the moment when you're working in migration on the Oracle database, this migration tool got several errors, and every time Broadcom will adjust the migration package. Now we are on version 1.0.5. This is what we have seen in the moment, that the online path is not directly or good working in the moment with Oracle. So depends also a little bit to your database. The bigger the database, and there are some old entries, something inside, the problem comes up. Small databases, so it can be working. So also we have seen when we start the offline part, and we have seen this on MS SQL, that we have high runtime. Like, we have no directly numbers, but in a normal MS SQL database, you have to know that you need more hours for downtime. Like this DB load can be run 3, 4, 5 hours. So this is what we are seeing with problems with this migration tool. So what Broadcom is recommending to this, if this doesn't work, the migration tool, do the migration directly with database tools. So, okay. This is what Broadcom says. Then you must have like some database guys who says, okay, we are able to do this. But also there we are saying from Tricise, we have no experience in the moment to do the migration with database tools. So I know in the moment also no customer who have done this. Also, we have some customers who have used, small customers, the migration tool is working, but we have also seen bigger Oracle installations have problems with the migration tool, also with the runtime. And therefore, I have to say, okay, better option is not the in-place update. When possible, is a parallel installation. So, and this is what we also have seen. In place can be very complex. You have very careful to test. You need backups from your database in Automic at first to test the migration tool. Is this working? So it's a good effort. And if you got in trouble, you have to open again a ticket to Broadcom side. Your migration tool got an error, and you know the time before this be fixed. The range for the upgrade goes up if you are ready. So the preferred, this is what we are seeing about the updates. The preferred is a parallel installation of V24. That we have new hardware, everything is new. We have a new installation of the database in UTF-8. We have everything installed. But also for a parallel installation, we have to look to some figures. So we have to check, and this is most time the biggest effort when we have a parallel installation. Can we install all agents in parallel? Like when you have a system 20, 30 agents, I think this is not a big problem. But if you have a system with 300, 400, 500 agents, we have to set up a plan how we can install these agents in parallel. What for mechanism, automatic mechanism we can use here, that we not have to install every agent manually and so on, but we have to build the agents in parallel. For this, we have to change the ports, like when you knowing an agent, use an agent port on the server, and if an agent is connected, you have to use for the second agent another port. So then you have also to set up firewall requests and so on that we need for the new version, a new agent port. When you have file transfers between agents, so this we have also to check and to keep in mind that there are some firewall requests what have to be set up. So then we have to check how we can get the objects to the new system. Normally, transfer export object from an old system into the new system works without problems. But what can be a problem is like when you have an installation and you have in your client 80,000 objects and this client is running. And you make an export of this client in the running system, you can see that you got some performance issues. Can be. It happens, like I have seen this in one of the upgrades that we got in performance issues when we export or the transport to put everything inside, like what you see in the utilities, export all objects, and you export one time 80,000 objects, you can get in trouble in your current system. So we have to check what for possibilities, what for parts we have available also from Tricise side to bring these objects without problems into the new system, that the current system is running without performance problems. So if you have 2, 3, 4,000 objects in the system, is no problem. The transfer case we're working. So, and then we have to check, okay, and this is the most important thing. Can we start in the new system without the old historical statistic data? So without reports and statistics, because this is the part what is a little bit complex to bring this from the old version into the new version. If we have the possibility to go without, this is the preferred one to do this. And also a thing when we are also talking about a big bang, like we have a parallel installation, we cannot say we can switch part or step by step the processes to the new system. We have to provide a big bang. On Saturday, we stop at 11 the old system, and at 12 after this we will start the new system. How strategy we have to bring over the schedules, the events, and the periodic processing into the new system that we without to do this manually. Also here again, if you have a small system with 2 schedules, 20 events, and 5 periodic plannings, no problem. But if you have a bigger system like with 80 schedules, 400 events, and 200 periodic plannings, so we help you like with some parts what we have here available to bring it out from the old system and start it automatically in the new system, so that we have no time between this, that we can get in the big bang without to lose time for starting the processes. And the last one, for the same, when we update or install the installation, the system, you have configurations in your client 0, how we push them into the new system. So that we also have some parts that this goes a little bit automatically and we don't forget something what was installed in the old system and is not now available in the new system. So also we assist you and support you in this part. So for this a short example, like also here's the part, the devil is in the detail. Like when you're thinking about UTF-8, the database is running in UTF-8. So what most times happens, nobody knows or reads that also the agents running now with UTF-8 and communication and reading with UTF-8 code paging. And this has dependencies to our scripting and processing. When you thought about, you have script commands where you can read out files. So, and when you have like a file which coming from external, and this was like an ANSI coding or something else, the old agent read it out with non-Unicode. The new agent reads this out with Unicode. So, and that can be happens that you have some special characters which are in the new system different to the old system. So this is all the detail, what you not read like in some documentations or something else, but what can happen and what we have seen in experience with updates, that there's a special sign inside and with a read command or with a preprocess file command, the special sign is not available because the agent read now with UTF-8. And also this is a part what we have to check. So, summary. For a successful and secure update, we have well thought out planning, testing, and to be safe that everything is working. More, I think, we have done in the last updates, because with this changes and the new strategy, we have to look a little bit deeper to be safe that the updates running fine. So, and we hope with our experience from the updates, what we have done, we can also bring your update to a smooth and successful. In the moment I can say, and this is what I say 3 times to the table, all our updates, we have 100%. We have no update at the moment where we have go back. We have to bring inside a backup of the database or something else. Every V24 migration systems are running, and everything what is coming up, we have fixed in place in the new system, and we got no infos in the newspapers or something else that the work doesn't have done or we got in problems there. So this is the part from my point. Now we have the time for questions.